Hi, I'm Jimmy Chang, and we're here to talk about histograms versus bar graphs and some similarities and some differences that separate the two. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that histograms are actually a particular kind of bar graph, so it is kind of a subclass of bar graphs. So let's talk about bar graphs first, and then we'll see how histograms differ from them. Now, bar graphs will typically measure individual values. In other words, they'll talk about surveys and they'll display data and using individual values. And so bar graphs will typically look like this. There's going to be typical spacing that separates the bars together. Now, the bar graphs can be either vertical or horizontal, and I'm just giving you a vertical example as an illustration. But let's just say if you're rating on something, bar graphs will typically, again, display individual values. For example, we might have 5, a 6, maybe a 7, and let's just say maybe 4 people responded 5, 6 people responded 6, and perhaps, let's just say maybe 3 people responded 7 if you were to read the data across. Now, histograms typically will compare grouped items or grouped set of values. So for example, here, let's just say you may have 10 to 19. Let's just say you're talking about a specific age range, 20 to 29, 30 to 39. Now, even though this is not 100% always the case, it's mostly the case where histograms, again, a special kind of bar graphs, histograms, the bars are typically close together. In other words, there are generally no spaces that separate the bars together. So a typical histogram may look like this, but as you can probably tell, bar graphs will compare individual values, and histograms will typically compare grouped values. And in bar graphs, typically, there's spacing, and with histograms, there's typically no spacing in between. So I'm Jimmy Chang, and that's bar graphs versus histograms.